Just 4 months was all it took for the previous, or now previous, governor from the Turkish central bank to be ousted. We've seen the Turkish Lira appreciate 18 months in the 4-month term that we've seen from that governor, and it's all wiped away already just because we've seen the president of Turkey kick him out and fire him effectively. Now, so far this year, the Turkish Lira has really been the best carry trade. And we've seen a lot of institutional investors coming and retail investors coming from Japan and the US wanting to get in on that action. They're likely now caught in long positions that are down a whopping 17%. Now, what's going on behind the scenes? We've always known that President Erdogan is a bit of a guy who likes to keep his rates very, very low. But inflation levels in Turkey are sitting close to 15% right now. So that's obviously opposite or counterproductive to what you would like to try and do. So what's happened, we've seen the central bank increase by 200 basis points under the direction of Abel, who is was the current governor, and that has not really gone too well with the president. So he has ousted him and replaced him over the weekend with someone else. Now, at this stage, we know that President Erdogan loves a low rate, even with inflation near 15%. But all that optimism we were seeing for the Turkish Lira getting back on track, becoming a little bit more stable, has literally evaporated. It is now, again, one of the most volatile. It's always been a volatile currency, but it is, again, now one of the most volatile currencies to really try and deal with at the moment, particularly now that we know that there's not going to be too much stability. And that's a problem coming up into the forward features of the currency. Now, thinking about the new guy who's going to be stepping in, the new tough job he's really got is going to be trying to manage the president's expectations, because they have kind of merged central bank and politics all into one, which is not a great way to be using it. But of course, that central bank policy has been very, very loose for way too long. And it really did need to be tightened up. The 200 basis point cut would have been substantial. Obviously, over the last 4 months, investors have been quite optimistic about the previous governor, and now that optimism has gone. He was trying to rebuild the trust. He was trying to rebuild the idea that we were going to be operating independent, build that credibility back for the bank. Now, of course, now that this has all happened, that's probably been erased. Investors are probably feeling a little bit on the short side right now. And the new governor will likely have to mandate keeping low interest rates, because otherwise his job might only last 4 months as well, perhaps even less. Now, at this stage, it means we've had 3 different governors for the Turkish central bank in the last year and a half. So that's a lot of people to be churning through, particularly for a central bank when we think about most terms being 4 to 8 years. Now, whilst that is the case, we have been used to these unorthodox controls, which unfortunately do increase some of the volatility to the extreme levels. We love volatility, but when volatility gets to the extreme points, it gets a little bit worrying. So at this stage, I think the central bank credibility and independence is effectively eroded and gone by now, and it's going to be very, very difficult to try and rebuild some of that trust, and of course to try and get some level of trust that there is an independent body working for the economy. But at this stage, it looks like it's all going to be coming from the political side of things, and that's going to be a probably dangerous territory for the lira, and certainly means that they are probably going to see some devaluations on the way and an increase of M2 supply over the near term, particularly with low interest rates kicking off as well. It's all going to be pretty dark days if you are living in Turkey and trying to get a bank loan. Now, that's really all I have on the Turkish Lira for today. But of course, if you have any questions, want to get in contact with me, perhaps you've got a comment about the video, feel free to shoot me a message at any of my social media channels that are above and behind me right now. And don't forget to check your economic calendar. There's a fair bit of US economic data coming out tonight, so keep an eye on that. We've got a number of FOMC members speaking all at approximately the same time in the early hours here in Australia anyway. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video so you can get more great content from me and ACY Securities in the future. Have a great trading day ahead.